Hi, Chris Brooks here, former foster youth and author of My Life with 40 Parents, Intimate Reflections of a Foster Child. And yes, you heard that correctly, 40 different parents. So I was abandoned by my mother at the age of 4, and by the time I turned 19, I had been shuffled through 40 different foster homes, group homes, had 2 failed adoptions, and even spent 2 years in juvenile detention. And one of those stints in juvenile detention was extremely interesting to me now that I've wrote the book, because I was arrested for possession of cannabis, but the judge eventually dropped the case and the charges were dismissed, and I was free to go. However, there wasn't a placement for me to go. There was no home for me to be released to. So I actually had to spend an additional 2 weeks in juvenile detention because there was no home for me. So another example of my life is one of the things that I struggled with as an adult was relationships, and specifically intimacy. Because growing up in a lot of these group homes and institutions, there was no intimacy. There was very, very little love, but not a lot of, and definitely not a lot of intimacy. And I didn't know how to be intimate. I didn't know how to be intimate with myself. I didn't know how to be intimate with others, and definitely didn't know how to be intimate with significant, in dating, if you would. And that's one of the challenges I had to overcome, and one of the things that I had to learn. And many of you may be working with foster youth right now, or you may be a foster parent, and they are struggling with the same issues. And some of the behaviors that they're expressing are results of some of these issues. But for a lot of you, you may be taking it personal. You may be saying, "Oh, they don't like me. They're pushing me away," and that is true. And a lot of times they're doing it to test you, to test your resolve, to see how much you really care for them. And it's vital to them. They've learned it out of survival. Because it's easier for them not to get attached to someone than get attached to someone and lose them. Because they've been attached to people so many times and lost them. Just think about that for a moment and put yourself in that youth's shoes and see if you would behave any differently. And that's one of the reasons I wrote the book, to really provide those who interact with youth an insight into why they are behaving the way they do. Because if you're willing to really see things from their perspective, it's going to provide you a lot of insight and a lot of understanding, and it's really going to help you understand them in a really, really deep way. So really, I wrote the book, though, for me. I had all of these experiences over these years that I had never really talked to anyone about, and they were built up inside, and they started to come out as behaviors and reactions that weren't really serving me. And so I needed to dive in to really take a look at these things and love them and honor them and bring them to the surface so they can be released. And I did that as vulnerably as I could, as authentically as I could, and as compassionately as I could. And it's not going to be an easy book to read. I'm going to be honest with that up front. At times there's uncomfortable topics that are tough. There's going to be times that you're going to feel angry, you're going to feel sad. But I do want to tell you, it has a happy ending. I turned out okay. And I wouldn't change any of these experiences for the world. They've taught me so much about love. They taught me so much about life. Now that I'm on the other side of these challenges, I've come to cherish them. And that's another reason I wrote the book, is to share with foster youth a template, to share with them that someone else has been through shoes similar that they are going through and has made it out okay. Many foster youth don't see kind of successful foster youth, people who are on the other side and have came out loving and not tarnished. So that's one of the things that I hope foster youth gain from reading this book. All right, I won't share any more because I don't want to spoil the book for those who want to read it, but I just want to say I love you, and I thank you guys for caring about foster youth and for having the desire to understand what it's like to be a foster youth. So the book right now is currently available on Amazon. You can purchase it right now. If you have Prime, you'll receive it in 2 days. It's in paperback, it's in Kindle version, you can type in My Life with 40 Parents. If you are someone who works with foster youth or interacts with foster youth or has foster youth in your home that you care for, you're definitely going to gain some insights and value from this book. So please do read it. And yeah, that's all I have to share with you today. Take it easy. Bye-bye.